Imagine standing on the edge of a sheer granite cliff, the wind whipping through your hair as the sun rises over the jagged peaks of the Grand Tetons, painting the sky in hues of fiery orange and deep purple. Now picture a young woman, full of life and dreams, stepping into that majestic wilderness, her camera slung over her shoulder, ready to capture the untamed beauty that calls to her soul. But what if that call turns into a silent scream, echoing through the canyons as she vanishes without a trace? This is the haunting true story of Amelia, Amy Turner, a tale that weaves together the raw power of nature, the depths of human evil, and the unyielding pursuit of justice. In this educational video, we'll dive deep into her journey, exploring not just the facts but the emotional layers, historical parallels to wilderness disappearances, and lessons in resilience and awareness that can empower you today. As we unravel this narrative, we'll pause to explain advanced vocabulary, like hue, meaning a shade or color, often used idiomatically in phrases like in a different hue, to suggest a new perspective, and idioms such as without a trace, implying complete disappearance. Get ready for a story that will grip your heart, challenge your mind, and inspire personal growth through the lens of English language mastery and universal wisdom. In the summer of 2023, amid the breathtaking landscapes of Grand Teton National Park, Amy Turner embarked on what she believed would be the adventure of a lifetime, a solo trek that promised solitude, self-discovery, and stunning photographs to fuel her artistic aspirations. Born in Salt Lake City, Amy had always been drawn to the outdoors, her childhood filled with family camping trips that instilled in her a profound respect for nature's unforgiving beauty. At 24, she had left behind a stable but uninspiring job in graphic design to relocate to Jackson, Wyoming, where the Tetons loomed like ancient guardians, offering endless inspiration. Her apartment walls were adorned with topographic maps, each line a testament to her meticulous planning, and her photographs captured the essence of the wild: a bull moose in misty dawnlight, the alpenglow on snow-capped peaks, and delicate alpine flowers, defying the harsh elements. Amy's preparation for the Paintbrush Canyon Cascade Canyon Loop was exemplary. She packed her Osprey backpack with essentials: tent, sleeping bag, Garmin inReach for emergency communication, and her beloved Nikon D750 camera, ensuring every detail aligned with backcountry best practices. This loop, a 20-mile circuit with over 4,000 feet of elevation gain, is renowned for its challenging terrain and panoramic views, drawing seasoned hikers seeking to test their limits. Historically, the Tetons have been a site of both triumph and tragedy. Named by French trappers in the 19th century for their breast-like shapes, the range has witnessed explorations by figures like John Coulter, an early mountain man whose solo journeys in the early 1800s mirrored Amy's own quest for independence. As Amy set off from String Lake Trailhead on August 12th, she posed for a photo taken by a kindly tourist couple, her smile radiant against the backdrop of towering peaks, embodying the idiom, "The world is your oyster," meaning endless opportunities await. Yet, this moment of joy would become the last visual record of her alive, a poignant reminder of life's fragility. When she failed to return by Sunday, her mother Sarah's initial unease escalated into panic, leading to a report to authorities and the launch of a massive search operation. Rangers like Tom Albright, with decades of experience, scoured the trails, discovering her abandoned tent at Holly Lake, a scene that defied logic. Her main pack missing, but her day pack left behind, suggesting an abrupt departure. K9 units traced her scent to a dead end amid boulders, evoking historical mysteries like the disappearance of Everett Roos in the 1930s Utah wilderness, whose fate remains unsolved, teaching us about the perils of solo exploration. As storms hampered efforts and the search transitioned to recovery mode, Amy's father Mark refused to relent, channeling his surveying expertise into a personal grid-based quest, symbolizing paternal devotion akin to ancient myths of fathers like Daedalus searching for lost children. Online communities buzzed with theories: accidents, animal attacks, voluntary disappearance, or foul play, mirroring modern digital sleuthing in cases like the Dyatlov Pass incident of 1959, where 9 hikers perished mysteriously in the Ural Mountains, blending fact with speculation. Philosophically, Amy's story prompts reflection on hubris versus humility in nature, echoing Thoreau's Walden ideals of self-reliance while warning of overconfidence. In English learning terms, words like meticulous, extremely careful and precise, and idioms such as dead end, a situation with no progress, enrich our vocabulary, encouraging us to describe our own plans with greater detail. The emotional arc here is one of hope fading into despair, yet Mark's persistence offers wisdom. In the face of loss, action becomes therapy. As months turn to seasons, the Tetons' indifferent beauty, snow blanketing trails, wildflowers blooming anew, contrasted with human grief, reminding us of nature's cycles and our place within them. A breakthrough came nearly a year later when a fisherman found Amy's hiking pole in Cascade Creek, a clue that tantalized but ultimately frustrated, much like red herrings in detective novels, teaching narrative tension. Then, Ranger David Chen, an ornithologist studying golden eagles, spotted anomalous colors in a nest high on a ledge, turquoise nylon and red-trimmed underwear, items matching Amy's gear, woven into the structure by scavenging birds. This discovery, evoking ancient omens like eagles in Roman mythology symbolizing divine messages, shifted the case from accident to potential crime, narrowing the search to a rugged basin. The recovery team, including forensic experts, unearthed her remains in a shallow grave, autopsy revealing blunt force trauma and sexual assault, horrors that shattered illusions of safety. Historically, this parallels unsolved wilderness crimes like the 1924 murder of Bessie and Glenn Hyde on the Colorado River, highlighting vulnerabilities in remote areas. Emotionally, the Turners grappled with confirmation's bitter relief, their journey mirroring stages of grief outlined by Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, from denial to acceptance. Philosophically, it questions evil's banality, as coined by Hannah Arendt, in everyday predators lurking amid beauty. For English learners, advanced terms like anomalous, deviating from the norm, and idioms such as red herring, misleading clue, aid in analyzing mysteries. While universal wisdom urges vigilance, solo adventures demand not just preparation, but awareness of human threats. The investigation pivoted to homicide, spotlighting the intense hiker sketch from the tourist couple's memory, a gaunt figure who became a spectral suspect. A motel clerk's tip led to Robert Fraser, a transient with a violent past, arrested in Montana where his trophy box yielded Amy's camera and other victims' items. The camera's photos chronicled her final terror, a digital confession that broke Fraser's silence during interrogation, his chilling rationale, she shouldn't have been there alone, exposing misogynistic entitlement. This connected him to other murders, unraveling a serial killer's nomadic path through the Rockies, akin to historical outlaws like the Bloody Benders in 1870s Kansas who preyed on travelers. Emotionally, justice brought closure but not healing for families, inspiring memorials that celebrate victims' lives over perpetrators' darkness. Philosophically, it teaches empathy's power in community response, drawing from Stoic principles of controlling what we can amid chaos. In modern relevance, this story fuels discussions on women's safety in outdoor spaces, paralleling movements like #MeToo, and encourages English practice through debating ethics or describing nature vividly. As we reflect on Amy's legacy, her passion for photography reminds us to capture life's beauty proactively. What if, in your own life, you approach challenges with Amy's meticulous spirit? How might that transform your path toward personal fulfillment and safety? As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the valleys of Jackson Hole, the world learned of Amy Turner's fate not as a whisper, but as a thunderous call for change, transforming a personal tragedy into a beacon for awareness in the wilderness. Delving deeper, let's explore the historical tapestry that frames such events. The Grand Tetons, part of the Rocky Mountains formed over 10 million years ago through tectonic upheaval, have long been a crossroads for human endeavor and peril. Indigenous tribes like the Shoshone revered these peaks as sacred, their oral histories filled with tales of spirits guarding the land, much like Amy's own spiritual connection to the mountains. In the 19th century, fur trappers and explorers ventured here, facing isolation that bred both innovation and madness, as seen in the journals of Osborne Russell, who documented solitary survival in the 1830s. Amy's story echoes these, her solo hike a modern echo of that pioneering spirit, yet laced with contemporary dangers. Her disappearance sparked a media frenzy, with true crime podcasts and forums dissecting details, illustrating how digital age connectivity amplifies mysteries, similar to the viral spread of the Somerton Man case in 1948 Australia, an unidentified body with cryptic clues. Emotionally, Sarah Turner's vigil embodied maternal love's endurance, her video calls with Amy replaying in her mind like a looped film, teaching us about attachment and loss. Mark's relentless searches, mapping quadrants with surveyor's precision, represent grief's active phase, contrasting passive mourning, and aligning with psychological theories like continuing bonds, where the bereaved maintain connections to the deceased. Philosophically, this invites contemplation on fate versus free will. Did Amy's choices seal her destiny, or was evil an uncontrollable force? In English terms, vocabulary like tectonic, relating to Earth's crust movements, metaphorically for major shifts, and idioms such as cast long shadows, influence lingering effects, enhance descriptive prowess, useful for narrating personal histories. The eagle's nest discovery, a serendipitous intervention by nature, parallels ancient augury practices where birds foretold events, adding poetic justice to the narrative. Recovering Amy's remains brought forensic science to the fore, with Dr. Rios's analysis revealing assault patterns, educating on anthropology's role in justice, much like in solving the Kennewick Man mystery from 1996. The reclassification to homicide ignited a manhunt, the composite sketch a tool reminiscent of 19th century wanted posters for outlaws like Billy the Kid. Fraser's capture unveiled a predator's psyche, his trophy collection a macabre archive, drawing parallels to serial killers like Ted Bundy, who exploited trusting environments. His confession, prompted by irrefutable photos, highlights confrontation's power in truth-seeking, a lesson in accountability. Modernly, this story informs park policies on solo hiker safety, apps like Garmin promoting check-ins, and empowers English learners to discuss global issues like gender-based violence. Universal wisdom here lies in community vigilance. Just as eagles scavenge to survive, humans must watch over one another. As Fraser's trial unfolded, the courtroom became a stage for collective catharsis, the verdict a societal affirmation against evil, inspiring advocacy groups for missing persons. Amy's memorial, overlooking the Tetons, symbolized transcendence, her photos now exhibited in galleries, turning pain into art. What shadows from your past might you cast into light, using reflection to foster growth and protect those around you? The jagged silhouette of the Tetons against a stormy sky serves as a metaphor for life's unpredictable tempests, where beauty and brutality coexist, much like in Amy Turner's ill-fated journey that exposed the underbelly of paradise. Historically, the park's establishment in 1929 by conservationists like John D. Rockefeller Jr. aimed to preserve this wilderness, yet it couldn't shield against human darkness, reminiscent of Yellowstone's 1872 founding amid native displacements and ongoing poaching threats. Amy's artistic soul, capturing ephemeral moments like alpenglow, that rosy light on mountains at sunset, a term from German alpenglowen, reflected Romanticism's influence, akin to Wordsworth's poetry celebrating nature's sublime power. Her vanishing prompted interdisciplinary responses, search teams employing helicopters and K9S, technologies evolved from World War II-era rescues, highlighting innovation in crisis. Emotionally, the tourist couple's recollection of the intense hiker evoked unease, their vague description fueling paranoia, teaching about memory's fallibility as an eyewitness psychology studies. Mark Turner's private quests, enduring blizzards and isolation, embodied stoicism, drawing from Epictetus's teachings on enduring hardship. Philosophically, the case probes solitude's double edge, liberating yet risky, echoing existentialists like Sartre on freedom's burdens. For English mastery, words like ephemeral, short-lived, and idioms such as underbelly, hidden unpleasant aspect, aid in nuanced expression, ideal for essays on duality. The hiking pole's discovery, carried by currents, symbolized elusive clues, similar to flotsam in maritime mysteries like the Mary Celeste in 1872. Chen's ornithological find, eagles as unwitting couriers, blends science and serendipity, educating on ecology's role in forensics, as in vulture studies aiding body location. The grave's unearthing, with bones telling tales of violence, parallels archaeological digs like Pompeii's, where remains reveal societal ills. Fraser's profile, a drifter with sealed records, mirrors societal failures in tracking predators, akin to the Green River Killer's long evasion. His photos, a perverse gallery, confronted investigators with evil's banality, prompting ethical debates on evidence viewing. Modern relevance ties to apps teaching self-defense and trail apps for real-time sharing, empowering women in outdoors, while English discussions on narratives build empathy. Wisdom urges balancing adventure with caution, honoring Amy by advocating change. How might embracing nature's lessons reshape your approach to risks, turning fear into informed empowerment? In the quiet aftermath of justice served, the Tetons stand eternal, a reminder that from deepest sorrow can sprout seeds of awareness and reform as Amy Turner's legacy continues to educate and inspire across generations. Historically, her case joins a lineage of wilderness crimes that spurred safety laws, like the 1990 Clary Act following campus murders, extending to parks with enhanced reporting. Amy's photographic passion, freezing moments of wonder, parallels pioneers like Ansel Adams, whose Teton images in the 1940s advocated conservation, teaching art's activist role. The search's evolution from hope to horror mirrored societal shifts in perceiving threats, with online sleuths' contributions highlighting crowdsourcing's power, as in solving the Golden State Killer via genealogy. Emotionally, the Turners' memorial transformed grief into tribute, friends sharing anecdotes of Amy's laugh, fostering healing communities like those in post-tragedy support groups. Philosophically, it questions justice's sufficiency. Does incarceration heal wounds, or must we seek restorative paths, as in Ubuntu philosophy emphasizing interconnectedness? English elements include legacy, enduring impact, and sprout seeds, idiom for ideas growing, useful for motivational speeches. Fraser's linked crimes closed other families' chapters, underscoring investigations' ripple effects, similar to DNA breakthroughs in cold cases. Modernly, this fuels educational programs on hiker safety, English classes using the story for vocabulary on emotions and ethics. Universal wisdom. Honor the lost by living fully, vigilant yet unafraid. What legacy will you cultivate, using stories like Amy's to nurture growth in yourself and others?